Hogwarts will be the making of you, Albus. I promise you there is nothing to be frightened of there.
What I love about the magic in Harry Potter is it's not high tech. We are doing effects fundamentally that you could have done 300 years ago, and that's what's so different about the magic in Harry Potter from any other show.
The great thing about this show is a lot of the original film music has made it into the show, almost verbatim. So you're really hearing the iconic themes, and you hear them on stage live each night, which is so exciting.
Great Scott! Good evening, this is Dr. Emmett L. Brown, and this is my time machine.
A time machine?
Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to see a story of murder, greed, corruption, violence, and treachery.
This show, I think, is appealing because it touches upon everything. And I wish to say that it didn't. Wouldn't it be nice to live in a world where people didn't love hearing about guns, murder, all of that type of thing? But they do, and they come for that.
A customer! Oh my...
It has always been a dream of mine to do a Stephen Sondheim show in New York, and the moment I heard Sweeney was auditioning, I told my agent to please get me an audition for it. I knew they were creating something really special for this revival.
What's great is that a lot of the music, specifically that's picked for this show, is very much music that I grew up with. So when I first got asked if I'd be interested in even coming on to this production, without hesitation, my answer was yes.
Because you can. Because you can.
I'd always loved singing and loved dancing, and my dad saved the article of me saying I wanted to be on Broadway when I was 11, but I don't know if I had really realized that that would be my trajectory until it was happening.
We all come from different walks of life, different countries even, and just found the commonality through music and through our love for what we do.
I've never seen our story on stage, and to be able to see that every night with such talented actors and actresses, it's our history, like it's our people on that stage. My name is Ashitaka Porter, and I'm an audience wrangler at Here Lies Love. Essentially, if you're doing the floor standing experience, the platforms move around you. Our job is to move people out of the way so they're not getting hit by the platforms, and also so we're not getting hit by the platforms. I essentially call us the air traffic control, but for people.
I am a child of the Philippines.
First of all, Here Lies Love is an all-Filipino production. The entire cast is Filipino, and it talks about the history of the Marcos administration in the Philippines until the People Power Revolution that happened in the 1970s and 1980s.
Old and who's got a secret and who's feeling bold inside.
It's an incredible story about my family's history that honestly I didn't know about because I'm a Filipino-American, but I was born here. And finally seeing the show and getting the context of all of that history is absolutely insane and wonderful.
Could be a perfect 10. But since you've been gone.
My name is Danielle Rano, and I am the stage manager on & Juliet. Anytime you see anything happen, whether it's lights change, something flashy, when people fly, when pyro goes off, that's all our doing. And so I'm the one who's backstage, making sure that people are in places and just telling them when all the cues should be going.
My loneliness is killing me.
Juliet plunges Romeo's dagger into her heart.
What if Juliet didn't die? That should almost be the start of the play.
& Juliet is sort of a retelling of the classic Romeo and Juliet, but it is told as if Juliet gets a second chance. And it is written not by William Shakespeare, but by his wife, Anne Hathaway. And then we also see Juliet get to do it all over again.
We should rewrite all your plays.
I solemnly swear I'm up to no good.
My name is Skylar Fox, and I'm the Illusions and Magic Associate at Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Being the Illusions and Magic Associate for a Broadway show is a really specific and weird job. A little bit in the land of directing and choreography, a little bit in the land of set and costume and light and sound design. So my job is to help organize a lot of great creative people around the challenge of doing something impossible. You walk into a room and you're introducing people who've never done this to a new skill set. Basically, like at the level that you need a David Copperfield to, because they're going to have to be illusionists on stage.
I'm Amy Quanbeck, and I'm the dance captain swing at Moulin Rouge the Musical Broadway.
Welcome to the Moulin Rouge.
Being a dance captain in swing is a cool responsibility where you are partially cast and also partially team leadership and management. A lot of my job is to uphold the integrity of the choreography of the show. It's massive. So many lifts, so much choreography. Everyone in certain things is doing something different, and so trying to keep everyone safe is my responsibility. Moulin Rouge the Musical, at its core, is really a story about artists, and it celebrates the bohemian ideals, which we talk about a lot: truth, beauty, freedom, and love. The choreography is sensual and ferocious and dynamic and challenging.
My name is Ted Arthur, and I'm the music director for Back to the Future. The music director is in charge of all things music, including conducting the show, playing the show, and maintaining the musical integrity of the show from night to night. I really think that the music's Back to the Future is unlike any other show that is currently on Broadway. We have 18 musicians in the pit. For Broadway standards, that's pretty big, but you need that many musicians to really make this epic score come to life. There are things that we play each night in the show that you've never heard on a Broadway stage. We're doing 80s pop, we're doing 50s rock, we're doing film score, underscore, and that's what's so exciting. It's great to work with that varied styles of music with so many musicians.
Where'd you come from? Mississippi. And your parents? Very wealthy.
I'm Duncan Stewart. I'm Vice President and Casting Director at ARC.
And I'm Patrick Maravilla. I am a casting associate at ARC.
When you get here, 19.
The casting process, it's never an easy one. In a musical like Chicago, for every person that we put into that show, every star that we say yes to, we say no to hundreds of others. So the process is arduous, but it's also thrilling and exciting and rewarding.
Sometimes it's hundreds of tapes come in and we watch.
Sometimes thousands.
Sometimes thousands. And then, we watch every single one so that we're putting forward to the team the best of the best.
Divorced, beheaded, survived. New York City, we are!
My name is Michelle Osborne, and I play Bessie on the bass.
Listen up, let me tell you a story. Welcome to the show, to the history mix.
Six is a very fun, very short, different type of show. It's actually been described as like a Broadway pop concert. Very comedic, very witty, very smart. We have 4 members of the playing band that are actually on stage. We have drums, bass guitar, electric, and our conductor and keyboard player. Collectively, we're known as the Ladies in Waiting, but we've all been assigned characters which actually existed then, during that time. So I spend a lot of time with the band members, and I feel like it's a good bunch of amazing musicians who have done different genres and different circles, and we've all come together to play on Broadway. And I feel like our individual influences and our personal styles in music really do play out through what we're doing on stage. We all come from different walks of life, different countries even, and just found the commonality through music and through our love for what we do.
My name is Daniel Torres, and I'm in the ensemble of Sweeney Todd, and I also cover the role of Adolfo Pire. It has always been a dream of mine to do a Stephen Sondheim show in New York, and the moment I heard Sweeney was auditioning, I told my agent to please get me an audition for it. I knew they were creating something really special for this revival. So I'm in the ensemble, and this is such a blessing of a show because in the ensemble you get so many moments where you get to stick out and have your own solo. I actually have the honor of being one of the two gentlemen that start the show, and we get to just step out as kind of the voice of the story and narrate what is happening with Sweeney Todd. Sweeney Todd in a nutshell. It's a father who was wrongly accused and convicted for 15 years on a trumped-up charge, escapes from prison, and comes back to foggy London town to seek his revenge on the wicked Judge Turpin.
At last, my right arm is complete again.
It's pretty much British Bake Off, but with a lot of blood and killing.
This story is so epic in its storytelling as far as the themes. You know, he goes back in time and meets his parents.
1955!
And it's told through multiple generations.
Hey, McFly, I thought I told you never to come in here.
If they don't meet, they won't fall in love, they won't get married, and neither you nor your siblings will ever be born.
Whoa.
It does capture that feeling of nostalgia of the first time you saw it in the theaters. And just the reactions, I mean, people cheering for all the iconic lines, all of the music. So this has a real personal connection to people that I have not experienced in any other show I've worked on.
The show for me is quite different. It's the take of the 6 wives of Henry VIII. And I just feel like it definitely takes you through a journey of emotions as you watch the story of each queen play out. Every queen has at least one big vocal moment built into their song.
You can build me up.
For each queen, there's a style of music or artist that we all listen to today that has inspired and influenced the character and actually the music. For me, one of the great things about playing on 6 is that you get to see not only an all-female cast, but all-female band. Just to see that typically across the board is really empowering. And a lot of the time we see young girls in the crowd and they come and it's like the first time they've seen that representation on stage. And I feel like it has more of an impact than we actually realize.
We've been tinkering and making the magic better over the years of doing the show because we're learning what really makes it work in human bodies. At the same time, we're working with our design teams and our crews to set everything up so that these feats of wizardry are possible on stage. It's so gratifying, especially because the job is so hard. So when you walk out into the lobby, when you hear people, did you see, how do you think they did that? Did you see that? Like, people care about the wizarding world and they come in with expectations. And I think that when you can deliver on the feeling of imagination they feel as readers, or the kind of child part of themselves that read these books, or the young adult part of themselves, that is so satisfying.
I know that when my number's up.
The audience responds really, really well to the show. People always leave having a great experience, leaving with joy. And it's great for us because we're part of that experience. We want audiences to leave feeling like they were seen, feeling like they were taken care of, because that's my job. My job is to make people feel safe and taken care of and loved. I mean, here lies love. Like, that's what we gotta do. When I see families come together and being able to see the different generations all together in one space, being able to share in the love of the Filipino community, I think that's the most special thing to me. Because not everyone there are Filipinos, but everyone there in that moment understands what it means to be Filipino. And I think that's the most beautiful way to end this show.
It's really great to see how the music really plays into the story. And, you know, with this being a jukebox musical, I mean, you would think that the music was written for this piece because of how well they work together to just, you know, get the message across. I think now, being almost 400 performances in, we sort of have an idea of, you know, the big show-stopping numbers of where people are going to react. You know, when you get to the end and you just see the reaction of everybody, you know, when they see Juliet get lifted up in the balcony People will get up, people will dance, and you see people of all ages, you know, getting up and dancing like crazy. It's just such a magical moment. I don't know, it's just so fun, and it's so fun to work on a show that just can bring that much joy and that much happiness.
It definitely doesn't feel like, for me, maybe a typical Broadway show, because I feel like they have permission to kind of react out loud. And one of our team members described the audience as like the seventh queen. And I think their responses and their reactions to each story show you that.
I think what's so important for us when we're looking for people is that, like, yes, there's this idea of what these characters are, but the show has been around for so long that I think what makes people stand out is when they're able to still be 100% themselves while still having the essence of who those characters are.
The creative team will build Chicago around them. We don't want a carbon copy of somebody else's Roxy Hart. We want their individual Roxy Hart. And the show gets tailored to that. If you're a better dancer, they'll put in dance moves. If you're not as good as a dancer, they'll take some dancer moves away, change keys, etc. The show morphs and changes with the times.
They call it immersive theater, and they're not lying about it. As soon as you enter the theater, you're just flooded with these pink and purple lights, and then you go onto the dance floor, and we have projections and lights and a disco ball. You see us in our bright pink jumpsuits, and you're like, what the heck have I just walked into? You've walked into the most incredible, fantastical world that you've ever been to. What you see on stage is just moving platforms, and then you see actors going in and out of different places around the stage. But what you don't see is backstage wigs, hair and makeup, costumes. They are sprinting around the perimeter of the theater to make sure everyone's in costume, to make sure that the props and everything are set. We have literal moving pieces that are moved by hand, by our stage hands. And so all of us are working just like the entire time, completely turned on, ready to go, ready for anything to happen, and I think that's why we're such a strong team.
I have no idea how many people it takes to keep this show running every single night, from front of house to on stage and off stage and up in management. There are so many people involved to get this show running every single night, and that just goes to show you how much the backstage crew is just as important as the onstage crew. This company really feels like a family, and I know we say that about every show that we're in, and for the most part, it's actually very true. Every show that I've done on Broadway feels like a different family that I got to be a part of, and this one certainly feels like that. We always say, welcome to the Sweeney family, and that's really what it is.
To make something magical happen, everyone touching it, and everyone touches all these moments. Wigs, hair, and makeup touch almost every magic moment in the show. Every single person, lighting, sound, scenic, the actors, the crew member, even parts of the front of house need to be working perfectly, so when something works, it's really affirming. It's what I love about theater. It's a lot of people working together towards a single purpose to make something possible. So there's nothing like it.
I have to say that this is the largest production that I've ever been a part of. I mean, the technical elements in this show are so complex and take so many people behind the scenes, ensuring that it goes off well, but also goes off safely. And it's really incredible how it all comes together.
The team to get the show on its feet every night is massive. You can go from the front of house all the way to the back, and then again, like throughout the show, that whole team is working the whole time. From the front of house staff to everyone that works at the theater to the crew that's helping set up the theater for that night. Then we have the wardrobe team and the electric team, and then all of the dancers and the singers, the artists. So everyone has a different job, and they do connect, and we need to work together as a team to have the show go on every night.
We have over, I think, 50 people just backstage making the show happen. As an average audience member coming to see a big Broadway show, like, nobody has any idea how many people it really takes to put something like this together. And what's so wonderful about the crew that we put together for this show, and also just the house crew at this, Sondheim Theater, is that we are so supportive of each other. Everybody is so wonderful to work with. I remember when I first called the show, and it was the most nerve-wracking thing that I have probably ever done, because, you are the one flying people, setting pyro off, scenery is moving, everything is happening at once. Just the amount of support that I got from everybody was just amazing, and everybody really just has each other's back.
It truly does take a village to get a show running. I mean, you have everyone that's backstage, everyone that's in the house before the show happens. Everyone just gels so well together, which just creates this beautiful picture that not a single person could do alone. The most rewarding part has been, getting to tell people that their dreams are coming true. There are so many people that dream about being on Broadway, and it's those moments where, you're sitting on a FaceTime with an actor telling them that they just booked it and you're both crying. It's magical.
I started doing theater and magic around the same time when I was about 4 years old, and I started them completely separate and never thought about them relating to each other. I did magic shows at kids' birthdays and then at festivals and at events. And then I did theater because I loved making things with people. And then Harry Potter came along, and truthfully, there were 6 months of interviews. And then at the end of those 6 months of interviews, I was lucky enough to get to do this job.
I grew up dancing at a competitive dance studio in Minnesota and was very grateful and fortunate to have a family that supported that. My dad saved the article of me saying I wanted to be on Broadway when I was 11, but I don't know if I had really realized that that would be my trajectory until it was happening. Then went to school for dance and loved dancing, and then I joined the Wicked Tour, so that was how I ended up in the city.
I remember as a kid being in my bedroom just conducting to film scores, just in the mirror, just for fun, and thinking, oh my gosh, I want to do that one day. And so getting to do that each night, conducting 18 live musicians in this epic score and looking up and seeing the scenes play out right in front of me, it just feels like you're in the movie. It's such an exciting and exhilarating experience every night, every night.
The Legacy robe started in 1950 as a tradition, as a robe that was passed on to each opening night of a Broadway show. And each show that got the robe prior would add something special to it. And it's bestowed upon the actor in the ensemble who's done the most Broadway credits. I was beside myself that they said my name. And it really is such an honor because now I'm invited to every opening night of every Broadway show. Talk about Broadway community. This is a tradition that we do every opening of a Broadway show. Every show that's currently running faxes over a sheet of well wishes and happy opening wishes to the company that's opening that night. It's an honor to be a part of the Broadway community. I pinch myself literally every day that I still get to do this, that I'm still invited to be a part of this community. But even long after I'm retired, I'll still feel a part of this community. And how many things in life are there like that? I'm just beside myself that I get to do this every night.
The Broadway community seems large, but it's actually really small and tight-knit. When I got the job, I realized, wow, I am working on Broadway. I feel like I have to keep reminding myself that because I'm like, that's a dream I never thought I would be able to achieve so early in my life right now, but I am working on Broadway and it's the most beautiful thing. I've created friends, we've had fun little group parties, karaoke moments. It's really, really cool to be part of that community.
It feels an honor to be part of the Broadway community, especially because I was born and raised in the UK and I moved to New York, not quite knowing how everything was going to play out. And Broadway is known throughout the entire world. When we think about musical theatre, when we think about plays, Broadway for me is its highest platform. So to be able to have an opportunity to be able to hold down a chair on Broadway is definitely something I don't take lightly. And it's an honour, it's full of different experiences and memories that I didn't expect. So I'm definitely happy to be on this journey.
Harry Potter didn't just change my life, it changed the field and the expectation of what was possible on stage. I try to pinch myself now because it feels so normal. It feels like, I'm going to work and I'm standing on a Broadway stage, and I sometimes have to take a moment and look out and be like, wow, I can't believe I get to be part of this thing.
Art is built through collaboration. And that's one of the best things about being on Broadway. It is a family.
Being a performer on Broadway is a dream and is also work. We're so fortunate that we get to do what we love. I do always find gratitude being on stage and having the lights and having the excitement and the adrenaline, and also feeling like that's where I'm meant to be. Ooh, I'm gonna get emotional. Yeah, there's just something to being on stage that's really remarkable and powerful. And with something like Moulin Rouge the musical, people are coming to escape and be thrilled and watch the spectacular. And so it's really incredible to be able to bring that to them every night.
We are Broadway.